Hey guys, to get the new year started off right, I wanted to do a quick tip tutorial on brushing your dog at home, whether it's between baths or grooming appointments. Brushing your dog in between can always help reduce the amount of tangles and really make sure that you are giving your dog the best care possible. But there are important aspects to this that you have to adhere to make sure that you're actually not doing more damage to the coat versus helping. So here are my tips. So first off comes down to products and tools. When you're brushing your dog at home, you never want to do what's called dry brushing. You always want to have some sort of a conditioning spray or element that is a leave-in that is going to help really brush through that coat and get any tangles out, and also moisturize and hydrate the coat and prevent breakage. Because if you're just dry brushing a coat and you've got nothing to help moisturize it and heal it as you're doing it, you could actually be causing more breakage and damage than good. So the best product that I love to use every time is Artero Mix. It is a lightweight conditioning, moisturizing spray that is fantastic for brushing your dog at home. The next thing is making sure that you're using the right brush. So depending on what kind of coat you're working with, you can either use a pin brush, which honestly 9 times out of 10 is going to be a very good safe bet, and if used right it can really get through any coat just as well, or a slicker brush. Slicker brushes are really good for really getting all that coat, getting through and working it apart, but if you are dry brushing, this can cause more damage, so you want to be careful with both of those. And then lastly, I'm going to use a comb that is not super close together with the teeth because I don't want to be pulling hair out, just in case if there are any little, tight areas or stuff like that. You want to make sure that you're not like ripping coat out. So another thing that is really great with brushing, and you may have heard of it, it's called line brushing. And what it is basically utilizing a way to help separate the coat as you're working through it. So one really easy way to do this, and I'm just going to clip her to my little helper so that she does not spin around on me. I like to start on my legs. It's just really easy to knock them out. And so what I do is I'm going to go ahead and spray. And then I'm going to hold down the hair and move my hand down the leg as I'm brushing the hair that pops up above my hand. And what that does is it makes sure that I am getting through every little bit. And you can see that there's a line there, hence line brushing. And I just slowly work my way down the leg. And a lot of times I'll do it the whole way around as I go. So I'll hold my hand, brush all the way around, spray a little. I can tell I did not get the inside of my leg, and just work my way down. And there's that leg brushed out. And then to go over it into comb, I'm just running my comb right through it, picking up the hair. You can also pick up the leg and comb up. And this is going to help you find any tangles or knots or anything like that that you might have missed. But it looks like we are pretty good here. And then for the body, so depending on what breed you're working with Carries, I go with the grain because this is supposed to be like a well-knit sweater. But if you're working with poodles or, any kind of like curly coat where you want it to be fluffy and stand out like Bijans or any sort of mixes with those types of coats, you want a back brush. And you can do it essentially exactly like I just did the leg. So you can hold your hand here as you're working and just work your way up the back. Now with her, I like to brush with the grain, because that really helps maintain those waves, but make sure that she doesn't have any tangles going on in her coat. And she's pretty short right now, so I'm not too worried about, having to line brush or anything. But again, if I was, you just got to make sure that you are going over in sections. Use your hand to kind of mark where you've already gone and work your way down. But already we can see how much nicer and more brushed out she's looking. And I like to go right over that outer hip muscle. And then for the back leg, same thing as I did on the front. That I missed her. Hold that hair and work my way down the leg. And again, you want to be pretty gentle. You don't want to be scratching the skin. You want to be kind of very light-handed as you're working through, but just make sure that you're getting through the coat down to the skin. Good girl. And you can also spray as you go, or you can mist over it, just like I did. Either way works. You know, you can spray section by section, or you can just spray mist right over. It depends on how much conditioning that you're really trying to get in there and what your dog's needs are. Yeah. And let's just get the back of that neck. And then last, and this is where I use my pin brush more so, because she's a puppy and she's still a little bit wiggly. I like to be safe, and these pins are definitely something I would say is a lot safer than a slicker brush. You know, if I poke her with this, it's not quite as dangerous, whereas like if you poke with this, it could cause a scratch or anything on the eye. So I like to use my pin brush on her face for right now while she's young. So I'm just going to mist right over her head. I know, you're such a good girl. And I go right in front of the eye, brushing forward. And again, if you've got a pup at home that has hair on their muzzle, so like, you know, Shih Tzu, Yorkie, or a poodle with like a long face, this is also a great way to do that. And brush that face out. And again, now I'm going to go over with that comb. And look at that. I think that looks pretty good. Don't you think that looks pretty good? Yeah. She did such a good job. You are becoming such a little grooming pro. Mwah. Here, let's get her a cookie. And a reward for a job well done. Alrighty guys, so again, Happy New Year, and thanks so much for tuning in today and watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and let me know what else you'd like to see this year for 2025. See you later.